Welcome to the If You Know, You Grow podcast. My name is Chantel Braley, and I am going to be your host for the next however many minutes. This podcast has been created to help bring you behind the scenes of some incredible brands, hear some incredible stories, and make it so that it is no longer an if you know industry, because now it is all about if you know, you grow. Hello, everybody, and welcome to one of the early episodes of If You Know, You Grow, the podcast. I am so excited to have Jess Ruhfus here. Before I introduce her, I actually would love to share a fun fact that my first ever podcast or live speaking opportunity in my career was with Jess, and I don't think she had any idea at the time. So this feels like very full circle for me to have her here.
I didn't know that was your first. You were amazing that day. That was years ago, though.
It was like in the middle of COVID. It was like the first event that we had post-COVID.
And it was a packed out audience as well. It was you and Priscilla from Bang & Body.
Yeah, and that was the other, to be, I don't know if I was after before, but on the same, concept as Priscilla. I was like, oh my God. But I'm a theater kid. So like fake it till you make it. We've got this. Theater kids unite. Okay. Jess, can you please, for people who don't know you, and I feel like we've got such a, great collaborative network between us that a lot of people will. But if someone for some reason does not know the amazing Jess Ruhfus, can you just share who you are, please? Not humbly at all.
Sure. Yeah, well, okay, career-wise, I suppose I started out in fashion PR. Mm-hmm. So I remember working really hard at uni. I studied film and everything, and I wanted to go into the film industry. I got the chance to work on the set of The Great Gatsby, which was amazing, and some music videos. And I just had a lot of university tutors say to me, oh, you have to go and live in LA if you want to make it in this business. And there's like no money in it for ages. And at the time I thought, oh, I don't really want to move to the States. I'm really happy here. And so then I went into PR and fell into fashion PR. And I remember going into that job and just going, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. It was very like Devil Wears Prada vibe fashion, which I know you have experience in as well.
I didn't realize that was both of our kind of same jobs,
yes.
Baptism by fire in the industry.
So that was interesting. And then I learned a lot for sure. And then I went and worked for a small business marketing education company where we would take small businesses through basically how to DIY their own marketing. And I found that really interesting because partnerships came up a lot. It wasn't really core to their teachings, but it came up a lot with the clients that were working with that agency. And that's when I had the idea for Collabosaurus, which is basically a Tinder for business. So I built a software company when I was like 23 or something like that, 22, 23. It was 2014 at the time, and I launched that with absolutely no idea, no experience, and ran that for 10 years until it was acquired about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. But we bootstrapped that platform up until over about 11,000 brands used it. So Walmart, Pinterest, the iconic.
Some big brands. That's huge.
Yeah, it was really cool. And really across so many different industry spaces too. Like we did a lot of like fashion, beauty, lifestyle, food and beverage, even service-based businesses as well. So partnerships was a really big part of my career. And then now I'm in toilets, which is just the most random pivot ever. So after I sold that company, I took some time off and I had this side hustle that I built as just a bit of fun, really. And then it just kept selling out. It's called No.2. It's a really fancy toilet fragrance.
It smells great. I travel with it. That is, I have my little mini that I travel with because it smells in plain bathrooms.
Oh my gosh, those long haul flights are horrific.
It's so bad.
And I shared a bathroom with two boys during COVID lockdowns, and that inspired the product because we couldn't find anything that worked, that was actually nice looking, and you were proud enough to display and wasn't full of chemicals.
Yeah, it's clean, isn't it? It's like very good for you in that sense.
There's no synthetic fragrances. And also because it's a dropper that you drop into the toilet, it's not like a spray that lands on your skin or that you have to like breathe in and stuff like that. So now I'm in eCommerce. Now I run No.2.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. And I mean, obviously the name No.2, it feels quite self-explanatory, but you've really elevated, like you've made it really pretty for something that is not pretty. How did you do that?
Yes, I did. I tried really hard. That was one of my pain points that I really wanted to address because I think a lot of the competitors on the market, They have ugly packaging, but a lot of the packaging has the word poo on it.
Okay.
I don't want to name names. You can go down the supermarket aisle and find them all. But that was one of the biggest things I really wanted to change. I wanted it to be classy, not crass.
Well, I mean, it's really beautiful. And I've loved watching the journey that you've had, I think, pivoting from like being this founder of Collabosaurus, which we will basically dedicate a whole episode to, which is not this episode, but you have one of the best perspectives of partnerships out of anybody that I know. And I think, a lot of people ask me about influencer partnerships. And to me, that is like very high risk and it doesn't always pay off. And it's an important part of your structure, but people don't talk about the other partnerships part. So I want to dedicate, space to that because it is so underloved, I think, in Australia.
Yeah, it's so still underused for sure.
Underutilized. But it's been really cool watching No.2 grow from, little concept literally in your bathroom to being, such a fun, engaging brand that is getting out there. How has everything gone so far? How are you feeling with everything?
Yeah, good. It's really fun running an e-com business, working in software for so many years. It was always, the grass is always greener. I wish I had something physical I could give to people. I wish I had something physical I could photograph in like a fun shoot or give to influencers or whatever it might be. And a physical product I think is so much easier to dream up fun partnerships and collabs around as well. And so it was always, grass is always greener. And in a lot of ways, I think creatively for me, it definitely is greener, but cash flow wise is so tough. Like service-based businesses are just so much more profitable.
Yeah, super high margin.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I reckon that's probably been the, I'm still learning. The biggest curveball is constantly having to manage cash flow and inventory forecasting with e-com. That's something that I'm not skilled at.
Yeah, I think it's something.
Is anyone skilled at that?
I don't think so. And I feel like the people who are skilled at it, like either they have a team and so like they're delusional and they've just got the person that gives them the results and they're like, yeah, this is awesome. Or they are lying. Or they are delusional and unintentionally lying. Yeah. It could be that as well, especially because, as much as I love everything that we get to do in this industry, a lot of people have had a really tough year, a tough 18 months. Yeah. A lot of things have changed. And so for cash flow to not feel like a talking point, it's almost like, how no one wants to talk money or politics. And it's like, well, we probably should because that's how we know what's actually happening within our business.
And, I remember hearing Sarah Blakely say from Spanx, she was running some masterclass and she said, you should have $1 million in revenue for every team member that you have. I remember listening to that as a service-based business going, well, that's ridiculous because I have quite a big team and nowhere, like not millions of dollars in revenue. With Collabosaurus, I was running a team of about 18 people at one point, and we certainly weren't an $18 million company. But it's funny being in e-com now, I'm like, I can see where that comes from once you actually, boil down the margins and everything that goes into acquiring a customer, retaining a customer, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, breaking down, you're like, okay, I've got this dollar and I want to put 18 cents of this dollar to this and I want to put, it's definitely different. You touched a little bit on forecasting. How have you, as like a solo individual, meeting of one, which we can chat about later because I love your series, but as a, like, how has that changed what you're doing? Because you wouldn't have had to do that in technology. You wouldn't have had to do the forecasting. So
yeah, not really. The software company was a subscription business and it was B2B. So I feel like the audience was smaller. It was far more relationship driven, but also super predictable because every month was the same subscriptions coming through and you could forecast out really easily. Number two, we definitely have a high frequency of purchase because it's one of those household items that you would replenish if you've run out. But it's, I needed 2 years worth of data to even understand how frequently people come back on average and enough volume of orders to really make that data make sense. And use it in forecasting. So like to answer your question as to how that's going, I'm still
figuring it
out. My head's in spreadsheets like every day.
And I I'll do the spreadsheets, but it's not what excites me. I know you need to have like the spreadsheet and the forecasting, but I feel like it's the least sexy thing about what we do.
Yeah.
But it's also probably the most empowering when you really start to get your brain around it.
I never regret spending time in the spreadsheets once I've done it because it gives you clarity, but I definitely avoid it for sure because it's just not as fun.
Do you feel like confident enough to bet on yourself when it comes to like, holy shit, I need to order a huge increase of these, drops? Has that been something that you've had to get your brain around?
Yeah, I think I'm getting more and more confident with it, especially seeing as No.2 now, we have like a hero SKU.
Yeah.
And I base all of our forecasting and margins and everything around that hero SKU, really. So it's quite a simple business to run right now because I'm not wrangling 1,000,001 different products and scents and things, although there's some new ones coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've totally forgotten your question. What was your question?
I think I just asked, like, if you're confident betting on yourself. I think that's such a hard thing to do when you are, I think, like working by yourself. To betting on yourself is a difficult thing sometimes. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely getting more confident, although that's not to say I haven't made some real mistakes around betting on myself. Like, for example, we had a major competitor, our pretty much only competitor in the US, became unavailable like overnight, and our 3PL contacted me and was like, Jess, you need to get over to the States right now. Like, we need to get product here because you're getting all of the organic Google search for the competitor product, and you currently can't ship to the US because No.2 is a dangerous good, so we can't travel by air, which is an extra nightmare layer that I didn't know existed. But anyone running any kind of business in fragrance, in perfume, in deodorants, in aerosols, anything in that realm, it's considered a dangerous good and you can't travel by air. So that presents a fresh set of challenges. But what that actually resulted in is I overshot how much I would be selling in the US, and now I'm sat on so much inventory in the States where the marketing over there, like what works here really, really well for us in like a well-oiled machine that continues to scale, just does not translate over in the States. And I sell a fair few bottles when I'm there physically. I absolutely notice that because it's just, networks are powerful and meeting people, and I can do those partnerships and those things from being there, boots on the ground. But I find at the moment running such a baby brand in the States from Australia is near impossible. So I'm now like looking at some other options as to how we can sell through that stock, because it's just basically cash flow tied up in inventory over there that's just not shifting fast enough.
I feel like I can already think of things where I'm like, we'll chat after this.
Yeah. I can think of things too. There's so much I want to try first before I like call back stock, because it's so expensive to bring it back here. But yeah.
I can see that though, the differences, because I mean, and we've chatted about this a lot personally, like the differences between the two markets. And, America is it can be a gold mine for a brand. The population is huge, but I can see how the product itself will work in both markets. But I think the accessibility of like literally what you have, I feel like makes more sense in Australia for a lot of people. Like when I'm thinking about like your competitors and like what sits in that market, like it would not be something in Australia that I feel like more people would be across, whereas America, there is such a big gap of accessibility.
Totally.
That you'd have to find a whole different way to crack that algorithm.
Yeah. Well, I actually think Amazon would be game changing for us in the US, but there's a whole layer of like barcoding and shit, like logistics things I need to iron out to do that well.
Even the creative for Amazon, if you've seen any of those guides,
it's totally different.
You have to make it as ugly as possible, and then it works.
Like infographics and yeah.
And I only buy stuff off Amazon generally when I'm drunk. Like me,
really?
Yeah, me at 2 a.m. with like 3-click checkout, Korean skincare, bedazzling items. Like
that's so
you never know what you're gonna get.
I bought an office chair from Amazon the other day, and it arrived so quickly. I don't vibe with the like UI of Amazon. I find it really sort of like clunky and not visually appealing. But I think it's just so embedded within like Americans' buying habits.
Yeah, because it's easy.
Exactly. And I think with No.2 being a household item, it's one of those things that you would subscribe to quarterly, 6 monthly, whatever it may be. So yeah, that's on the cards for sure. I have so many friends in e-commerce killing it on Amazon in the US, and it's its own ecosystem in and of itself, like with the advertising and different margins and different all sorts.
And then the resellers and yeah.
But it's super exciting. I think the reason what's holding me back from it at the moment is just the logistical things I need to figure out.
Yeah, need to watch a lot of YouTube videos on all the ways to do FBA and the barcoding All right, so I know we talked a little bit about forecasting and cash flow, and I feel like important not the sexiest part of what we need to do. But like aside from that, like what teething points do you have? Like how are you feeling about No.2 almost 2 years in?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. It's really exciting. Like there's lots of, I think where I really love spending my time is in the product development side and also in creative marketing campaign side. So I feel like I'm really able to do a lot of both of those things with how like the size of No.2 and also just being an e-commerce versus like B2B software is so different. So yeah, I'm excited for what's coming up for sure. In terms of like how I'm feeling about the business, I still just am pumped by the opportunity it represents. Like I love any business that can shake up a really boring industry or a boring product. And if you walk down, you know, the aisles of a supermarket and look at even your category that you're working on, for me, it's toilet fragrance. Nothing is inspiring to me. So it's like, it makes so much sense for No.2 to exist. And I know it really can stand out in an otherwise super boring, super crass and sort of tacky category. So I'm really excited by that. In terms of cash flow and stuff like that, I think teething problems wise, really my focus is around increasing up my salary from e-com. So I'm taking a salary from No.2, which is amazing. I think all the lessons I learned the hard way with my first business, I was able to bring into this No.2 business and it really saved me a lot of headache because I could pay myself from like day one essentially.
So good.
Where a lot of, I mean, for my last business, I didn't pay myself for 4 or 5 years from that business. I was working other jobs. So I feel really fortunate that I've been able to take a salary. It's not a huge salary. It's tiny. And I'm still doing consulting work and things like that on the side. And, you know, I've got a podcast and that has sponsorships and stuff as well. So, yeah, my focus is really on like hopefully doubling the business in the next 6 months and then off the back of that doubling my salary so that it becomes, you know.
So that you can spend the money on all the fun things that you like in life other than work.
And live,
that fill
and
you,
live as well.
And live because Jess likes traveling
We
and
love
fancy
Italy.
restaurants.
I want my Italian villa.
Yeah, and beautiful clothes as well. There's lots of things. Jess, by the way, she just mentioned her podcast. She has a great podcast. I love Marketing ATM.
Thank you.
It's so much fun to listen to. I feel like when I listen to your podcast, it feels like I'm hanging out with you and Anita at like, you know, whatever random time and we're just chatting about everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks.
Well, that is how our conversations goes, really. Also, when we all catch up, I think it's one of those funny things where Anita and I were just talking and we were like, this would make we may as well record the conversations that we're having anyway.
It feels like the caller daddy of like Australian e-commerce and
you.
marketing.
What a
Like it really
compliment.
does.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of BDE on that. I really like it. You guys are so good.
Thanks.
What is one thing that when you started this journey, you wish you would have known?
That's a really good question. I think, you know, I remember getting this question in like my last business and thinking, oh, you know, I've made so many mistakes, but if I had known the things, I mightn't have actually done the things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think naivety is part of the lucky formula.
Yeah, honestly, it's because that means that you're also not being too cynical or not like overthinking. Like you're strategic, but you're not overthinking things.
Yes.
When I see people overthink what they want to do, I never feel like it's as good of a result.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, to answer your questions, if I could go back and do something differently and or something I wish I'd known, it'd probably be just to bite the bullet and get on TikTok way earlier. You know, it's the same thing with Instagram. I mean, my Instagram community and following and stuff, I was actually having this conversation with Anita the other day. Most of that was built, and there's 32,000 business owners on that page. Most of that was built between 2014 and 2020.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't seen ginormous growth since then. I think it's harder than ever to grow on a lot of these platforms. And, you know, if I only got on TikTok in 2020 rather than I'm just starting now really in 2025, that would probably be the one thing. I think it's just like the piece of advice would be to jump on things early and just give things a crack and climb Cringe Mountain.
How are you feeling with TikTok? So far?
I'm climbing Cringe Mountain. I
love this.
Deep in cringe. It's so cringe-worthy to me, but you got to do it.
Has anything cringy that you've done, like, has it popped off or?
Yeah. I've got videos that have reached hundreds of thousands of people.
That's
They've got
incredible.
nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
But it just shows that, you know, the reach is there, the community's there.
Yeah.
It's just, I think volume of content's really important, and also really focusing on like short form stuff that can connect and hook people in.
I think TikTok kind of sits in that like overthinking category for a lot of people, where they just don't understand, like, just try it and just send it and see what happens, because the algorithm's so strong that if you hit even 500 people, they're generally going to be 500 people that are your people, as opposed to, I mean, my Instagram Explore page, like that is algorithmically not generally accurate to me.
Same.
Whereas my For You page knows the deepest, darkest sides of my life.
It's so funny. Like, I think as a millennial, like looking back, my first job was at a VHS store, like a Blockbuster, basically.
Wild.
And I just look back and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to rent out videotapes. And then DVDs and then Blu-rays, and then all of that became obsolete. And then, you know, the Instagram of back when Instagram started, I think we as millennials were trained in these curated feeds.
Yeah.
You know, everything, the things that worked were the really polished, perfect, everything is fine and dandy and amazing.
Buy your preset pack.
Yes, and inspirational. And the presets, oh my gosh, that was huge. Whereas now it's the complete opposite. So I just feel like we're constantly unlearning and, you know, some habits and mindsets, and then relearning new things to adapt to what's working. So
No, I could not agree with that more. Do you remember renting Titanic and then having to put the second VHS in? I just thought of that.
What are you talking about?
That's true.
Of course I own Titanic.
I forgot about that until this exact moment when you talked about VHS. And I remember having like tape A and tape B.
Ooh, I didn't have a doubler, but I did have a tape and DVD combo at one point. We thought that was so high tech.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, technology has changed. I'm actually really glad that like mini discs never actually took off. I remember stressing out about having to change my entire CD collection to little discs.
Yeah. I had a Mac that I would burn iMovie stuff on. Oh my gosh, it's just, any Gen Zs listening to this will go, I don't know what you're talking about.
The one thing I wish would come back, and I feel like it's going to have its resurgence in like a year or two, because, you know, we've already had on TikTok those big like photo booth moments in New York and those pop-ups.
Yeah.
Where are like the iMac photo booth? Remember that app that was on the iMac? Yes. When is that coming back? That was great.
Well, what's that app we were all using at Carmel's birthday? Dazcam?
I have no idea, because you just told me, let's try this camera.
Dazcam. I think that is it. It's an app that all the cool kids are using.
Dazcam.
And it makes the photos look like they're film photos.
Oh, yes.
So it's really just, you know, a retreat into the nostalgic 90s.
I brought back the Digi. Like, I have the whole Digi thing, but I didn't wait for the G7X Canon. And so it's just, I don't have the right one. So I spent a lot of money on not the right Digicam, as I've learned from my Gen Z counterparts.
I mean, I used to take a camera to the club. Like, it
Same.
I'm that old now.
Same. God, that's okay.
Time for an eye cream. You know those memes? It's like, oh, if you took a camera to the club, it's time.
It's time for Botox. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I really love, and I think you've already been very transparent so far about everything, but one of my purposes with this podcast is to like share the things that not necessarily like you're struggling with, but I think it's so easy to be sold the like exception to success and not realize that like things happen and like it's not always easy, and you can love what you do, but you know, there's things that you learn. Yep. What's been like have you had a big like what the fuck moment or fuck up moment? Like, what was that? Are you
huge?
Share?
So many. Oh my gosh, there was one. This was only like a year ago or something, where the manufacturer we were using at the time had used a labeling machine that obviously had stuffed up, and there wasn't a good quality control thing in place. And I found out way too late, like hundreds of customers had already received orders, and all of these labels on every bottle of No.2 was super bubbled to the point where it was like, it looked so unpolished and like unsellable. Like I was furious. Basically, the solution to that is Matt and I drove for 9 hours down to Melbourne, which is where our 3PO was, and we sat in a cold warehouse for 3 days and hand labeled 3,000 bottles of No.2.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
still remember my fingers, like they nearly bled. I had to go out and get Band-Aids to just wrap around my thumb so that I could like bear to do another, few
blood,
thousand
sweat,
or
and
whatever.
Tears, literally.
Oh my gosh. So that was a huge stuff up, never again. And that was all around quality control. Another one is, I misread a PO and it nearly cost me $30,000. That was it was like 2 days before Christmas Eve, I think. Just this one just gone. And I get a message from, I can share, I suppose, TVSN, which is the online shopping network. They'd placed a really big order and they were like, hey, we have to send these back because this isn't actually what we ordered. It was like I had sat there and bundled up thousands of bundles, but I had just totally misread the PO. Yep. And that isn't what they ordered at all. So it nearly became a complete refund situation. Thankfully, it was saved after I had a little mini breakdown. And
we all need to crash out.
Yeah, we crashed out for sure. And then I tried to negotiate some alternatives in the end that thankfully worked. But that was a near big mistake.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
And I hated it that was truly my fault. You know, it really was my fault.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it properly.
I think that's sometimes just slowing down. Like if you can afford to slow down, it doesn't mean you're not going to move as quickly, but sometimes it's just you won't make a mistake. But I think we're all gonna fuck up. It's never not gonna happen.
Of course. Yeah.
The labeling thing I've also learned the hard way in businesses, but not like with an error, but more so as someone who I feel like I generally have good attention to detail, like physically printing a label and almost like word by word, looking through every single thing to make sure there are no typos, that there's not like an extra period in a place, that there's not any of those things. Because the larger your business grows, the larger your orders are going to be. And the last thing you need is tens of thousands of something.
Well, something that's really helped me, because there's quite a few different stages. We order packaging from one place and then we get it all manufactured in another place and then it goes to our 3PL, which is like a third location. And it doesn't touch me in those different touch points, especially seeing as we're often trying to fulfill these inventory gaps in a rush. I've never been able to nail it where it's like, oh, we've got heaps of time and I can get a little check of every little thing along the way. So thankfully I've got great relationships with all of my suppliers now.
That's so good.
There's a lot more trust there. But I think also just creating checkpoints where, a photo of what is being sent gets sent to you before it hits the shipping container. Like things like that. And also moving our manufacturing within driving distance for me was amazing.
Huge.
So it's all manufactured in Australia, which means that in the case that I need to, I can pop down to the manufacturers and physically sniff test a
quality control,
or
make sure everything's there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that probably actually gives them a little bit more accountability as well, because Jess could stop by.
Jess could stop by.
You never know.
Stop by the other day. But no, it's all good. Like it's just such a relationship game at the end of the day,
Why do I feel like you would bring treats when you stop by as well? I feel like you would be that person.
That's so funny. I feel always really guilty that I'm not bringing treats. I should have brought treats. I didn't, but I should have.
I feel like you've developed the relationship
I'm the
now
treat.
where that wouldn't be, you are. You're a snack and you're a treat.
Yeah. You're welcome. My presence is the present.
It's true though. I feel that way every time I'm with you, so I can't lie. So I've got a couple more questions for you. Okay. But I think I love all of the content that you make, and I know that I see it because I am deep in your algorithm and I interact and engage with your posts. But whether it's piece of content or an individual campaign, what has been your favorite thing that you have done so far with No.2? And I also know that I didn't prep you with that one. I just was thinking about it because you and content are just so, or campaigns and the way that you're so creative.
Thank you.
It would be amiss to not
like that all the time. But I think some of the funnest stuff I've done for No.2 is actually chasing celebrities.
Yes.
But not because of the celebrity chase itself. It's because of the content that comes off the back of that and the journey that you can take people on that's quite hilarious around trying to get No.2 to Jennifer Coolidge and me and my friend Anna were in the Hamptons, and we were in literally a car chase with the car that we thought was Bethany Frankel. We were like, that's Bethany Frankel. Yeah. Follow that car, basically. And we're like chasing this poor woman down, and they're speeding away, and we're going, oh my gosh, like they're trying to, like, we're just basically trying to find her address so I can drop off some No.2. And then we follow her like for half an hour, and then she gets out of the car. It's absolutely not Bethany Frankel. We have no idea who this woman is, and it was just so funny. So I think that's probably one of the funniest fun things that I've done for No.2 so far.
In my brain, because it's America, I'm thinking, did she think she was being human trafficked? Like she saw this vehicle of people following her.
I mean, she had a driver. Like it looked, maybe she was a big deal. I just didn't recognize her.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Behind the scenes. That's so PR girl coded. To find someone who has had No.2 so far. Like, where have you been able to get No.2?
We've been able to get it into Gwyneth Paltrow's Green Room and Jennifer Coolidge as well. Abby Chatfield, she shared it, which was so
obsessed.
Lovely. Who else do we have? I've sent it to Hamish and Zoe, like Foster Blake. Yeah. And I mean, they've never shared it, but I know they have it in their house.
They've tried it.
Yeah, like it has gotten to quite a few celebrities, I suppose.
It is such like a Gwyneth Paltrow-esque product as well. Like I could see you someday. You will be on the Goop website.
I hope so.
We will be at Coachella for a Goop activation.
I hope so. Let's start manifesting.
I was like, Goop has activations at Coachella, I think.
Did you see Good Girl Snacks do their activation at Coachella?
Yes.
So smart. They attention hacked the whole thing and did it on the lowest possible budget. If anyone is listening and runs like a, e-com brand and wants to find some cool ideas, Good Girl Snacks is a really good one to look into.
Yeah, that is that's on my bucket list of campaigns to do, is a Coachella campaign, because there's so many like nuances around, like you can't technically say Coachella, it has to be festival, and there's like the 2 different weekends. So are you targeting influencers? Are you targeting arts and culture? And like also Coachella is literally the most fun weekend that you will ever have. Like no festival, in my opinion, having been a very big festival girl, beats Coachella.
And guess who needs to use the bathroom?
You definitely.
Everybody.
And guess who has nasty bathrooms?
Yeah. Well, not if we have anything to do with it. But
a porta potty takeover.
But like a really luxe one.
Yeah. How good the VIP safari tents.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So good.
I will help if I have to. I volunteer as tribute. Oh no.
I volunteer as tribute. Oh my God. Love it. Yes. That's happening.
Okay, I love the celebrity chasing, I think, because that's the perfect level of unhinged and just like really fun and great and engaging content.
It creates really good content that, people really like following along, because you have an underdog, you have a journey, you have like a goal at the end, and even if it's not successful, the content can be successful.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a fun moment for your brand as well. Like I think it's fun to think about the fact that these people have your product.
Yes. And even if, they don't post about it or whatever, that's fine. Really what we're kind of doing subconsciously is we're aligning with those celebrities as well, in using their names and building them into the story. So,
and you never know what might happen too, because when I was actually at Petal, we gifted Gigi Hadid's something. Like, I don't know who it was. It was somebody very random that was associated with her. Mm-hmm. We took all these videos of like making this gift pack together. It wasn't with our PR agency, anything. Her first viral TikTok, she was wearing a Petal and Pup piece.
Oh my gosh.
And then her first ever pregnancy announcement, she was wearing a Petal and Pup piece.
Stop, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it was like alignment with the brand, and even just the like feeling that level of accomplishment of like, wow, we can send them things, and they actually do, like someone gives them their parcel.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Greenberg, who's a celebrity makeup artist in LA, New York. Oh gosh, now I can't remember. I think she's New York actually. When I was over there, my friend Lana suggested I gift her some, and so I sent some across. I sent some to a bunch of different people, and just didn't think anything of it. And it was like I was back in Australia months later, and I woke up to a feature on like an LA Today show or something. Like it was so random because Jamie was doing a segment on stocking stuffers and Christmas gift ideas, and she brought No.2 and talked about No.2 on television.
That's so good.
I didn't know that was happening, and her clients are like Catherine O'Hara and like Pamela Anderson is one of her clients. And I messaged her going, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like I created all this content off the back of it. And she's like, I'd love to give some to my clients if you want to send me more. So I've obviously sent her all the bottles at my disposal.
You're like, how many do you need?
Yeah. So who knows? Like it could be in so many other celebrity hands that I just don't even know.
You're going to see like Kylie Jenner order from No.2 and it'll be a moment.
I would die.
So good. What, like, as somebody who has had to grow a business, what resources have been really powerful for you to use during this phase? Like, whether it's like friends or actual things that you're reading or podcasts, or what's helped you, what's inspired you, what resources?
Network is definitely number one.
Yes.
I think hearing from other people who are a few steps ahead of you is always the most inspiring thing, always. And it also is a shortcut to success or a shortcut to a goal. If you're wanting to get somewhere, it's actually opportunities are attached to people, and I think that's why you need to put people first always. Aside from that, I really like the Female Founder World podcast is great. Other resources I really like, I mean, an app I use every single day is InShot for editing content, which is fantastic. And I mean, good old ChatGPT is super helpful.
ChatGPT.
Not to do everything, but as a brainstorming partner, very good.
Yeah. Or even like to go back and like play devil's advocate, because I think especially when you've got like, you know, your hype girlfriends or, you know, guy friends, whatever, like generally they will give you constructive feedback. But I think if you tell ChatGPT, like, fucking find the holes in this, it will find the holes. It'll find all of those things, because it doesn't have a soul. It doesn't need to hype you up, you know? So
and yet it still does hype us up.
It does.
I feel like there's a layer to ChatGPT that's like, it's wired to want to hype us up.
Yeah, someone coded in a soul a little bit somewhere.
A little bit.
Okay. Well, speaking of ChatGPT, and I feel like a couple episodes in, hopefully people are starting to get to know this by now. I have a little part called Smash or Pass, and my ChatGPT will always build the questions because I want to keep some continuity in that. And I also want to make sure that there is no bias with this. So for those of you who don't know, Smash or Pass, Smash is like, I love it, I fuck with it, I'm excited. Pass is not for me. And Jess, you can give as much context or as little context as you'd like with these things.
So it's not just a one-word answer always.
No, it just depends on how you feel.
This is my first time playing Smash or Pass.
Yes, she also doesn't know what they are, because I don't want people to prep if it's unhinged.
Okay.
Like,
I love an unhinged question.
I know this. This is one of the reasons I like you. Okay, so the first one, Smash or Pass. Launching with one hero product or SKU.
Smash. I did that.
Yeah, amazing.
And
you've done it really well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because how many SKUs do you have now?
Oh, I think like 4. Not that many.
Yeah, not that many.
And then lots of bundles.
Yeah, and it is still like the one hero product that is your hero product. Yeah. No, I very much agree with you on that. I think it's like there's until you know your customer and you know your brand, there's so much risk with variety.
Totally. And it does depend on your category and your product for sure. But I think for like in the context of No.2, that worked so well as a hero product. And I'm so glad I didn't spread myself too thin and try and launch with too many products. The Travel Mini, which is our like next best seller, actually came because customers were asking for it. And I'm so glad that I waited to hear the feedback. After that, everyone's asking for refills. And so that is going to be the next thing that we launch, because it's just what customers tell you. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that would sit within your customer. Like, they're going to be people who are eco-conscious, and they're going to be people who want things that are non-endocrine disrupting. So it all makes sense.
Yes.
I love that. The next Smash or Pass, going live before your brand or your strategy is fully baked.
What do you mean by going live? Like on Instagram or
you
like
know, we talk about like building. We talk about building in public, right? So there's lots of people on both sides where they're like, wait till your idea's out, or they're just send it, share. How do you feel about each side of that fence? Do you go live and do you start sharing in public before you have fully conceptualized where you're going?
Yes, Smash, but with a caveat. I would say you can't. So I'm actually working on a new business at the moment with a bunch of co-founders, and we all really, 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 really want to talk about it because we're marketers, and that is so what we want to do. But we're not building in public yet because it's too far out from launch and I don't want to lose the hype and lose that excitement. However, capture the content, capture all of it now, and also go live before it's ready, but strategically with time to allow that campaign to stand on its own as like a hype campaign.
When a hype campaign is done well, it is incredible.
Yes.
People who don't like hype, I'm like, you just don't know how to do it yet.
Yes.
Or you just think that it's like 3 days and you fucking hype everything. You don't hype everything because then you dilute the concept of hype.
Exactly. If you're trying to hype something for a year before it launches, everyone will lose interest by the time you launch.
I do think you're doing a good job with what you're currently working on though, because people know that you're working on something
coming, but we're keeping it a total mystery. As to even
you have no concept of what it is online. It's just, I'm in a meeting talking about branding, which clearly you're not rebranding No.2. So it's something about that.
Yeah, we're capturing all the content. It takes every fiber of our being not to share everything.
Yeah.
But
it's because you're excited. Excitement is good.
Yeah.
So last one for this one, smash or pass, building a community before you build the product.
Smash. If you can, absolutely. That is like the textbook playbook for how Glossier launched, for how so many D2C brands have succeeded. I was even talking to a software friend the other day who really wanted to grow his software company, which is B2B, in the US. And he said, I've just bought like an events community that someone didn't want to run anymore for business owners in New York. And he goes, it's great. We just run monthly meetups and events and it's an inbuilt community. And he's like, I'm going to continue to grow that. And I was like, that is the most authentic, genuine way to build up even before you launch in a new location because you'll have genuine connections there.
That's so smart. I feel like too, even in that community, like he kind of will almost get like a group to chat through concepts with, and like there's people who care and people who want to have that conversation. So
exactly.
I love that. No, I also agree. I had a feeling that I was going to agree with all your questions.
Although, I wish I had done that more for No.2. I wish I'd started the Instagram account earlier, and I wish I had lent into toilet humor a lot more and just done this like funny kind of girls' bathroom style content. But I suppose I was fortunate in that I had a community already.
I was going to say you have a community. So
So it's not quite the same in that like I'm not an influencer with the community around bathroom products or renovations or interiors or anything like that. But everyone goes to the toilet.
I feel like that's a good thing. I think you having your community though, even though you're like, oh, I'm not an influencer, like you've got 32,000 followers. It's pretty decent for what, especially for what you're doing. Like you're not somebody who's just sharing bulk content that's like fashion inspo, even though you do share fashionable inspo.
Occasionally,
All Things Golden. That's how I found out about that brand through you advocating. Yeah, I had no idea until you started looking amazing in their tops. And then I was like, Don, it's on my list of things to buy.
Just before this podcast, I abandoned an All Things Golden cart that I need to go back to and check out because I love that brand. They're killing it.
We can talk about shopping purchases after.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, I love basics, and I just don't think there's enough Australian brands that do basics well.
Yes.
And everything looks like it fits well.
Because I'm just going to say smash.
Smash. All Things Golden.
Yes.
Smash. Shopping. Smash. Okay.
I'm a marketer's dream too. Like I will buy anything that's marketed well too.
Same. It's bad. I really want, this is not even relevant. I keep trying to apply for LTK because I'm also a marketer's dream. So I'm constantly sharing stuff. I'm the ultimate consumer.
Yes.
I'm like, can I please just make a 9.5% commission on all these links that I send through? But I'm not cool enough.
Really?
No, I'm not aesthetic. I think that's what it is.
What about like a Stan Store or something?
I could probably do a Stan Store. Like I think there's Shop My, which is like the new affiliate technology. Maybe they will take the elder millennial on with this, but I don't know.
I created a Shop My for the Christmas gift list that I did for Australian small businesses. I don't think affiliate codes are really sick because not many Australian brands are on there, annoyingly.
I think it's gotten a little bit more traction recently because people are starting to talk about it, but ultimate consumer girlies. Same thing, marketer's dream. Love it. Thank you so much for this first chat. We're going to go literally, guys, straight into the next one. I'm not going to lie. But you'll have to wait for however long it takes me to get them edited to hear more. If somebody wants to find you or your brand or any of those things, how do people find you?
You can find me on social. I'm Jess Ruhfus. It's got a pesky H in my last name, RUHFUS. And No.2 is No.2_co.
Amazing. And we can all do iconic duos and learn everything.
Yes. And then I've got a podcast called Marketing ATM.
Yes.
I always forget to mention.
Such a fun listen. I'm obsessed with it. But I appreciate you chatting about yourself and No.2. And I'm so excited to see what happens.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thanks for having me.